who are staying in hostel or staying by themselves, they usually have from the canteen, and the nutrition level goes down there when we don't get when we are attracted towards the junk food, and we rely on that.
Assuming that they stick to healthier options,
healthier options,
because but then for that many it's a hostel, so they have to give good food to their inmates. But then otherwise, going out, like suppose if it's out, like do you see students like rushing out the moment there's a break to go get all their ice creams, donuts, chocolate cakes, whatnot?
That usually happens.
Burn their wallets.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's common. It's a common phenomenon.
Yeah.
But would you feel violated, like your fundamental right is taken away because they're banning junk food? Like what the hell? Like
I don't think it'll be like
how can they ban? Shouldn't it be left to you to make a choice?
It should be left, but then it's only in the canteen. We can go out and have. It's just a reduction in what we have.
Right, absolutely, absolutely. I'd go over to Mr. Our food expert, Mr. KC Raghu. Sir, if you can, our last part of the segment was clearly about how, first of all, what is junk food and what is not junk. I mean, what do you call now? Masala dosa we eat at home in the morning. Masala dosa, we are showing visuals there, and we are saying that's junk. Now we eat pakoda in the house also, but outside what we eat is junk. So how do you differentiate what is junk and what is not? Your noodles, your Manchurian, people eat that as meals, like one full meal, like a proper Manchurian and a noodles.
See, that's what is there. You should know the difference between a junk food or a bad food and a badly made food.
Okay.
If you we have a common perceptions today. The moment we talk about a pizza, burger, these are the two things that comes to our mind.
Pizza, burger.
Not necessary. Pizza can be very healthy. Pizza is the national dish of Italy, and they are much more healthier than Indians.
Correct.
Absolutely. And it is a fantastic food.
Yes.
If you make it well. But if the same pizza gets into a fast food chain with 6-month-old stock from the cold storage, and you heat it and reheat it, and add additives and flavors and sell it, it becomes junk.
Correct.
Our masala dosa also, you asked about masala dosa. If the masala dosa, the rice is from pure white rice, it can be junk.
Can be junk.
It can be. See, it depends on what. Bread, you can make a fantastic bread, but if you make a bread with just white flour, maida, vanaspati and sugar, it's none other than junk.
Yes.
But suppose you add whole wheat, you eat millets, or you eat multigrain and make a bread is very healthy.
Yes.
So you can't say a product is good or bad.
The ingredients that go into it.
So noodles, Japanese and Chinese, they all live on noodles.
Yeah,
nothing wrong with noodles. It's a fantastic food. It's a bar.
Noodles,
but if you add 16 additives, if you look at a noodles pack today, you will see 16 additives.
Yes.
Colors, flavors, and a whole lot of things. Then you can't say that if you see 16 E numbers, E number is additive.
Yeah.
So many flavors, colors. Then you don't add 16 additives at home.
Obviously not. Yeah.
I mean,
we use clean
vegetables. Exactly. So it's always so it's the distinction is it's very difficult. See, what is junk food? You can simply say this. World Health Organization says if your energy from sugar is more than 5%, which means more than 25 grams of sugar per day, you are eating junk food.
Okay.
Now, suppose you are eating a chocolate with 90% sugar, but you are eating only 5 grams.
Yeah.
But if you are eating a breakfast cereal with 50% sugar, if you eat even 60 grams, you got 30 grams, you got more than a day's quota of sugar.
Yes. Your cereals is junk. Would you say cereals is junk?
If the sugar is high.
Yeah.
See, how should
hidden sugars also, right? Like how would we know? It
no, you see the label. Many of the problem is this. Good question. See, for example, if you go to a hotel and you get a samosa, you don't know whether it is made from maida or from whole wheat.
Yeah.
But if you go to a shop and buy a labeled product, not that the labeled products are good.
Yeah.
But if you get the information, you can read the information.
It's all listed there.
It's all listed. And
but
see the sugar.
They are like at least shelved. Like they have they have additives, preservatives to keep them in the shelf like that.
So it depends on. See, it's like this. What do you make? You see, whether you have used the right ingredient, whether you use the wholesome ingredient, whether you have if you make rice and sambar, which is a typical Indian food, I always say it's a mountain of rice and river of sambar.
Yes.
That's our food.
Yeah.
If the rice is polished, 16 extractions they say, there's a pure white and a sambar without dal, it can be junk.
Yes. A sambar without
that's what we eat day in and day.
And the thing that happens, the way it is cooked, it's fast food because it's quickly made and served.
Yeah.
So
and they use cheaper ingredients, like he said. You rather use whole white flour instead of
see, the point is what comes cheaper.
It's expensive. It's more work.
What is cheaper and how fast can you cook? Because the numbers that you're handling normally, in these canteens, say it's a lunch hour, then you
quickly have to serve for 500,000 students, and something which is tasty, which means that fat and the salt and the sugar, that concoction definitely is going to leave them with, wanting more or going back to that particular dish again. So definitely, the way it is made, the handling part of it as to what kind of raw materials go into it, and the most important fact is that why are we against the junk food? The important point is why. Once you've consumed the junk food, what happens to the students? It's very heavy, because you will not get the taste, unless you've added fat and salt and sugar.
Absolutely.
So once you've consumed it, it's high on, it's going to be heavy on your stomach. You're going to be lethargic because you're complete. The reason why we feel sleepy after we eat a heavy meal is because the blood supply is more towards your stomach and not towards your brain.
Okay.
Because digestion has to happen. And we don't want the students to go back and feel lethargic and, not concentrate and go to sleep. So there is a reason why junk food is not good, and a continuous consumption of it, what happens on your body, especially the age groups that we are looking at. Like the student rightly said, it's not cool to carry a tiffin box.
Correct.
So it's important to create the awareness on students as to why this is being banned, or why not junk food, and then also educated them about how to choose the right food.
How do you choose the right food when you're really looking at an array of choices in front of you? You don't have your tiffin box. You have very little money on your pocket that can afford you only that one masala dosa.
See, the most
what other choices? Availability is not.
The first important fact is the food has to be fresh and hot.
Okay.
And that's the first indication. You should always eat in a place which is frequented by people, and like you go to a food court, or you in the colleges also, you have multiple options there.
Correct.
Vendors available. So you should go to the vendor who is fast, because he is not going to keep anything which is stale. He's always going to throw out and give you fresh food. The other part is anything which is high in fat. That the oil that is floating, or when you are ordering for your dosa, like he rightly said, masala dosa is junk. Not many people realize it, because the amount of oil that goes into it and the way it is made. So when you order for food, less oil, less sugar, something very fresh, and it should also be handled right. Who is handling it? How is he giving it to you? Because you don't want to fall ill after you've consumed.
Obviously.
So no food is nutritious if it's not safe.
Yeah, I think we need to look into trans fat here, right?
Absolutely.
Refrying in the same
Vanaspati,
oil.
yeah.
So even if there are people frequenting a restaurant, everybody is eating that yummy vada, idli with vada. That vada is made in probably 1 week, 2 weeks. They're using the same oil to fry the vada.
This is where you have to educate.
The worst?
It is. You have to educate the canteen owners. See, it is a responsibility. When you say junk food, you're controlling the way the entire process is. Like the oil, when you look, that's the easiest, that you walk into a hot chips center and that the oil is thick black. It looks like coal tar.
Yeah.
So it's important to educate the guy who's cooking, the food vendor, as to how he should be handling this entire process. It's not just banning it. Even the food that is going to be served, like he said, if the rice is polished, if the dal does not have variety, or if you're not giving a balanced meal, it's still not going to help you in any way.
Absolutely.
Unless you really plan the options that you're going to give the students and make it interesting.
Yeah,
they should feel excited.
That's an effort made by institutions.
And one important spirit in this guidelines.
Yes,
that is that you first recognize that there is a problem of junk food.
Yeah,
it's very important. And in the US, many universities, you see, the student used to get free cola vending machines.
Yes.
Free soft drinks.
Cola is cheaper than water there.
And then there are free vending machines. Why are there free vending machines? That's how you can hook them. But then you see the universities like University of California, they said no, we will not allow any soft drinks here. See, soft drink is one thing you can simply say. You don't have to do this analysis whether it is polished rice or unpolished rice and all. You simply know it's junk. Just get that out of the. So and don't allow any private company to start vending their products within the schools and colleges. Today I have seen many colleges, companies just walk in. biscuit companies, soda companies. They walk in and talk to the teachers and
they have stalls there.
Yeah? Stalls there, and even cafes. See, if you simply drink a filter coffee, you get less than 60-70 calorie.
Yeah.
You drink a coffee day. I don't know. Bread, but go to a cafe and drink this one. You may if it is with the cream, you may even get 1,000 calorie.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Half your day's calorie in one coffee.
Yes.
I mean, that's junk.
Yes.
It is like,
So
when
it simply say, this is a biology and biology. What you buy. What you buy has got to do with your body.
Yes.
But I want to tell student and anybody, I enjoy my food because I have plenty of good choice.
Yes.
It's not that there's only dalda and sugar and maida that should tickle your taste bud. Your taste bud should be tickled with myriad variety, broad spectrum of food.
But that's the sad part. No, there's nobody catering to that kind of.
No, see, it's also about educating. For example, normally, you're used to giving your child a glass of milk and add a little bit of, you have variety of
chocolate.
Yeah, chocolate powder.
When you actually read
powder.
read the label and you'll realize that almost 70 to 80% of that is actually sugar.
Yeah.
It's just that brown color, to give you that color, the little bit of chocolate flavor is added to it.
Yeah.
So any of these drinks that children drink today, so you as a parent already at home have introduced your child to so much of junk.
Correct.
Children refuse. If you're not giving me, without that colored powder,
once a week
plain white
McDonald's
milk.
day, once a week ice cream day. So is one day you're getting.
In fact, the government should look at the wholesale problem than retail problem. See, it is one way of creating suppose in this room I want to create an ecosystem towards health and nutrition.
Yes.
I don't buy this and that and then create my home as a nutrition secure, health secure home.
Yeah.
So I don't buy all this. That's fine. But then I'll have to struggle hard, make my own choice, discrimination as to what to buy, what not to, because there's abundant stuff there.
Yeah.
But if the government is keen on health food, then you look at 15 million tons of maida this country uses with 11 additives, including
they should
urea.
put a cap on that.
They should look at a wholesale problem.
Yeah.
I understand.
Or maybe just walk in straight checks in restaurants.
One way of looking at it is legal way of doing things. That is one way of, but that's difficult. The government can spend a lot of money. How can you stop white rice? Because that's half of our food.
Correct.
But we are eating only that. You go and search for a unpolished rice or a black rice or a red rice, you won't get it.
Yes.
You won't get good stuff.
Yes. Yeah.
So how can the government deal with this massive problem?
Humongous problem.
But rather than going and checking your dosa.
Precisely what I'm saying. Availability is not there. There is no availability to healthy
food. The point is you have
speaking.
to educate. Awareness and education is something very critical.
Yeah, I think
even if
kids make a choice, eventually you'll see a lot of places
like
that.
Not just that. If you're banning something, if you're taking something out of their system, you also need to have enough options for them.
Yeah.
You can't just
Absolutely.
remove.
And the same thing can be good. If there is rice unpolished is good and polished white rice is bad. So why don't you look at this at the wholesale level, so that whatever gets into your food.
So it is a larger problem
It's
that
a
the government
larger
is taking,
problem.
but banning it inside campuses
Yeah.
is it a
One
first
way,
step?
it's a retail.
It's a first step.
If you ask me, should you buy all this and keep it in your refrigerator at your home just because everything is available everywhere? No. You can make your home healthy by just avoiding certain junk food. You can make your school and your college and also you give a message to the world.
Yeah.
This is a university where junk food is not sold. We give a statement there. See, there is a spirit in that statement. No, at least in our university, which means the university is where education is happening.
So in that case, looking at it from those lines, it looks like it is a
it's
great
the right
step.
direction.
It is the right direction, a great
but the
step.
devil is in the details.
Yes.
What is junk food?
The government probably should look a little more deeper. The problem is more deep rooted. If there's that kind of supply, then quite obviously there will be.
Absolutely, there will be junk food.
Well, let's hear it from the institutions. How they handle it in their campuses. But after a short break, we'll be right back. Stay tuned.
अधिकांश हेयर ऑयल्स में मिनरल ऑयल का खुलेआम इस्तेमाल हो रहा है, जबकि यूएस गवर्नमेंट की संस्था NCBI के अनुसार मिनरल ऑयल प्राणियों में कैंसर कारक है और ट्यूमर को बढ़ाता है।
इसलिए 21 जड़ी बूटियों से हमने तैयार किया है मिनरल ऑयल रहित केश कांति हेयर ऑयल, जिससे जड़ों को मिलता है प्राकृतिक पोषण और बालों को मिलता है लंबी उम्र का वरदान।
अब अपने बालों से कहो जुग जुग जियो।
Are you a graduate and passionate about television journalism?
Then here's your opportunity. Learn with the professionals from the professionals. The most comprehensive courses in media industry with 80% practical training. Admissions open for the next batch of young journalists. Course commences from January 2017. You can choose PG Diploma in Anchoring or PG Diploma in TV Production. For more details, log on to www.media9school.com. Last date for receipt of application forms is 29th December 2016. You can WhatsApp us at 09980 788
Welcome back. Well, coming back to our institutions, if they are taking the needed steps, I'm sure most of your schools and colleges have already taken an initiative. But after this ban, how do you look at it, ma'am? Ms. Lavanya?
We basically, at the meal time, whether it's the short break or in the lunch break, we see parents who are really more conscious about food, packing the right kind of food. And it is a pathetic sight to see the children with chips and all, and these children handing out these to those students.
Yeah,
we see the students handing it out, and the students literally begging for junk food. And when they see all this, they're really influenced. And moreover, one important thing is they're so lured by all the ads they see on TV. Yes, and there is no advertisement for healthy foods on TV. Even the ones which are healthy have
additives. They
have lot of additives.
Add to her point, they say if you want a child to eat carrot, you have to brand it as Mac Carrot.
Absolutely, yeah. Right, you got to make it attractive enough for the kid to like it.
And nicely label it and put all the nutrition value.
Maybe the colors and the flavors matters a lot.
Not
that makes them get addicted to whatever. To add on to this, Presidency College, Kempapura, Hebbala is completely banned the junk food. As in, so we are proud to actually tell this. We have banned the food. Outside food is completely banned when it comes to students. So we are actually promoting something to be healthy for our students, which is actually good. A good initiative. I am not a student, I'm a faculty there. I teach political science, and she's my student.
You kept away from junk. You look like a student.
Oh, maybe. Thanks. I take it as a compliment. But yes, we have banned junk food in our colleges.
Great, but
yes, have this, they
policy
have
already.
Policy, and they do check. Like in my son's school, they check the tiffin boxes whether they are carrying junk or not. The schools already had this. This is now moved to the UGC, which is moved to the colleges. So that's the next step. Which
gave the verdict.
Yes,
See,
they did.
Happened?
Earlier they said no, but then that verdict, as in the sense, cola.
And they gave the guidelines to see. They ordered the FSSA, Food Safety and Sanitary Authority of India. It is high time that you bring in. But I can tell you, neither the court nor the FSSI has defined what is junk food.
Junk food, exactly what I'm saying.
It is really important first. Very, very subjective. But one thing I can tell you, the bad things are very few. High sugar, high salt, vanaspati. These are the things, and over polished rice, rice and wheat.
So keep only these few.
So you actually your bad stuff is very few. You put them out, then you have large choice of good food. All the fruits, vegetables, wholesome grains, whatever you talk about. I mean, to tickle your they say we have many taste buds which never get tickled all their life. So you can tickle them with the right stuff.
As a parent, if you ask, like, how will we give them the knowledge of this? The most important thing is if you ban.
Starts from home.
It starts from home. Correct. Home we are cooking also, we are giving, but again that's not
part of
what the junk food is.
That's small part of the family be changed. So actually, it's the easy task of the mothers. You give her chips in hand, TV there with cartoon, and the kid is happy and the mother is safe. We need not actually bother about taking care of. That is where the addictiveness towards all these junk food starts, I think. Friends, school, colleges comes later, but much before that is the family and the parents. Most specific, I want to specify, is the mother. to be safe or the kid not to trouble the mother, she's all that safe with the junk food in hand and you know the TV cartoon where the kid is all that addicted, and that taste goes on and on and on till the age of 50 and the
and
child
these foods are also addictive. They have
additives, of course, yes.
Ingredients that actually make you
That
come
home
back to
food
it.
you will not get that.
No, it starts with the time when weaning starts off. You know, you see a 2-year-old or a 3-year-old, the way the child is fed. You take a iPad and then you're showing him a cartoon. The child does not even realize what he's consuming.
Correct.
You know, so basically you're distracting the child and just feeding him, and over a period of time, the child doesn't develop a flavor of what he's consuming. He's not looking at food, so doesn't excite. 3 is that because you're not chewing, or the mother is not probably educating the child about it, the child is over consuming.
Correct.
Because when you're watching something,
when we are watching TV only, we don't realize we eat one chapati extra, one more extra,
and this is purely to
until
do
the serial gets over. Maybe I'll eat one more.
I was talking to a company which makes milk substitute, and milk substitute with glucose syrup, sugar syrup, corn syrup. I asked him, see, these don't exist in mother's milk. Why do you add? You know what the answer was? Once the infant starts taking this, the infant will stop taking mother's milk.
See,
this is a criminal idea, because sugar is addictive. There was a study that if you give two group of rats, one group was given fruits and vegetables, other one is very high sugary food. Then they flash a light which burns their body. Okay, the ones the eating fruits and they just jump and run because survival, the basic survival need. They have to survive to eat. The ones feeding on sugary food, they don't budge. They keep munching at the cost of their life.
My God.
Which means that sugar and all these things are
so
just
addictive.
like drugs. They are addictive.
it's
I know
more
people who are diabetic patients. They say, I don't mind getting my leg cut off, but I will not stop eating sugar.
It is more addictive
It's
than
very addictive.
alcohol.
My
Like I
God.
last time said, it's more addictive than alcohol.
Last time I had already said.
Yeah, sugar is it's addiction to the core.
Yeah.
There's nothing else. And today the industry has realized it. PepsiCo has launched, 2 months back a
Why are you
campaign.
talking
No,
PepsiCo
they have.
business?
No, they have. No, what I'm saying is the industry has
You're going to have it
realized
from the food specialist.
No, what I'm saying is
Nutritionist.
absolutely. That's what I'm saying, that the industry which was for it for the last 50 years plus is now realized that there is a
Artificial
need.
sugar,
There is corn syrup. Yeah, there is a need to reduce. The point is, when a
No, you're
child
saying,
cries,
people are
One
aware,
bottle
but
of soft drinks, you see, in bottle of soft drink gives you 49 gram. WHO is saying, you want a health in your hand, reduce sugar to less than 25 gram, salt to less than 5 gram.
yeah.
This is the mantra.
so it's 1 spoon of
But
salt.
there's another
and proof
mantra
of the
also.
day.
We can actually train the children to be healthy. Okay, morning walk. Okay, if the child is actually consuming
why
too
eat
much
junk
of,
food and make your
it's
body
okay,
suffer?
at least to
But
balance. See, if you
these are
can't
what we
control
normally
this,
do.
I'm telling you,
We
some-
tell our kids, you got to exercise.
See,
you know what
Actually,
the soft
children
drink
are
companies
doing
saying?
these things. Now
Exactly.
children are also
Kids
fitness,
are doing
yeah,
it.
they are
No, no,
fitness
I will
aware.
There are
tell you.
distractions every
Yeah.
now and
Yeah.
then when they see something outside is what. See,
No,
there
no,
is
no,
a
no,
distraction.
no.
We're trying to stop even that distraction.
No, there is. Let
Is
me
that
tell
right?
you. Let me tell you a live thing that which is my son says. My mother is a nutritionist, and the way he puts it, it was like children. When, like she rightly said, the teacher, that there are other children who are carrying junk food, and you are carrying carrots, and then you're trying to, exchange and probably eat that. The point is that there has to be a balance between what you educate the child and also what is available outside. Unless you educate the people that look, I mean, when you looked at probably 20 years back what was served in restaurants, how it was served, the portion size that was served. Today I am paying 40 rupees. I want the entire plate to be full. Whether I am eating or not eating, I don't care. But I want that entire plate full with food.
Correct.
So I think the attitude and the way it is being looked at, the way it is being handled, that entire chain has to be done the right way.
But
So
stopping only in the colleges will really help the society. Do you think they will not go out and eat?
No,
I
at
mean,
least
they
what
will have
happens?
more cravings.
They'll have
for
more
that.
cravings.
They
That's
will.
why
They will,
always-
they
yeah.
will.
Message is this, here is a place a child is getting educated. in the place of education, in the school of thought
Correct.
and learning,
Very true.
there itself you do all this. What does the society do?
No, school
But
we are
to
not
answer,
doing.
you know, the
Frankly,
race
I'm
question
very
is
ready to answer healthy weeks,
Do you have
healthy
it
weeks.
in your school? How does it work?
No, we
Canteen,
don't have.
the
No,
canteen.
we don't have a canteen in our school.
Okay.
So basically the students, they bring their lunch boxes.
Okay.
And in the primary sections and in the nursery sections, they have a special days, wherein a Friday is a day where they can bring a junk food. So that way, the craving
They can
at
bring
least
junk
stop.
food.
No, just
At
one
least
off
one
day in a
day.
month.
No,
One
the
day.
point is,
Craving
it
would
is
be
going
there
to,
for sure.
no, the
But-
children
but
They
definitely
go home and eat the same thing.
Absolutely. I think, the child has this craving and definitely feels at loss if he sees the other children do it. You can't
So
be,
that way at least we are reducing
you have
it
to balance it. And even
once
if
a
you're banning the junk, I think, like I said, it has to be communicated to the children.
Why it's being
Yeah, and
done.
it has to be all the stakeholders involved,
Yes.
whether it is
Parents,
media,
teachers,
it is
media,
media
absolutely.
plays a very critical role because 70% of the ads are directed towards children.
Kids, yeah.
So it is important what you're conveying, how you're conveying, and apart from that, all the others as a community, how we are going to be addressing.
So
it.
basically, educating the students or children will be more important than banning, I think, because if I say no, I will not drink,
Even as
then
parents,
it's over. It's no.
Like most
I
of the-
even if it is served, I will not drink.
But
so that
the only worry is most
Yeah.
of these colleges, campuses, whatever they're speaking of, inside school canteens, college canteens, you get all of it like your Manchurian, your noodles, your fried rice and all of that. And that is actually the proper healthy meal that they, or meal, the full meal that they are serving. So if the choices are not there, then what are these kids going to eat ultimately?
Absolutely,
And it's
Nabila.
drowning in oil. The fragrance is so nice. That Ajinomoto, the Chinese.
I think
my
you're
God,
tempting them.
it's so. I used to be hooked onto it all through 3 years of college. Even now, when I think of it, I feel like going back to my canteen and eating that noodles. That I was so obsessed. I was obese. Let me tell you, I was really, really obese, and I lost a lot of weight after that. It was quite a struggle. I still battle with my weight issues. I still do. I have to work out, otherwise I'll just bloat up. And that was because of mistake I made in my teenage years.
That's what I'm
I
saying. You
really
need not
faulted
stop
eating.
with your food,
Nobody
but
stopped
there's an
me.
alternative is
my
the
parents
workout.
were
That's what I'm
working,
trying
so
to tell.
ultimately
Yes.
they just give you your 10
Work-
rupees, 20 rupees pocket money and they send you because they're also busy.
No, also what happens is, Nabila, if you look at the kind of time that a child spends at the school or the college, they are spending close to 8 hours to 9 hours, which is a
Two
long
meals,
period.
actually
And if you
breakfast
are
and
not
this.
carrying your meal, that means you are dependent on the
Junk.
canteen for at least one meal, one snack, and that is something which you can't discount. So the point is here, how are you going to really bring about this change? What is that which you will categorize as junk and what you will not, and ensuring that they still get what they want. So I think that's something very critical.
Most of the parents are working and they hardly have time to pack their lunch boxes.
Okay.
That is a very, very important thing. And even as a parent, I also feel that this is the easiest option. When I go in for healthy foods, I need to pay more.
Yes.
An apple costs more.
That's very
a
true.
chips
Healthy
packet
food costs more.
Yeah.
A box of salad, if you want to buy anywhere, is like as much as a full meal, like 200, 250 as much as you would pay for a full
you get
thali.
a burger when you're walking around, you're getting
And
a
burgers
burger.
so cheap. It's like 30 bucks, 30, 40 bucks.
That
You'll get a
itself
nice patty.
speaks for the kind of nutrition that
Yeah,
it carries.
but for kids, they can afford it.
See, they
It's
can
more
afford
affordable.
it, but the point is when there is availability, it's all about how you're going to utilize your vendors who are going to be, who are going to be appointed at the cafeteria. So that person has to be educated. He needs to know what is the kind of category of age group that I'm handling. What are their taste buds like? See, when you're young, the taste buds are quite a number. Like a small baby has the highest number of taste buds. As you grow older, your taste buds start reducing, and this is the reason why when you see the older generation, they like to add salt. They ask for a pickle because their taste buds have reduced as you are aging. So at the age group that we are looking at, they need that kind of a stimulation. And the way these junk food is made, like last time I told you, the bliss point, it leaves you with that mark, and
it's a lifelong obsession.
It is definitely an obsession, and purely the reason why fast food industry is thriving. I am sure sir has studied it a lot more.
As a food specialist, if you can tell us, is there anything that the government's doing? Say, for example, campuses, they're not entertaining junk food. The moment moment you step out of the gate, you have a
Yeah,
dime a dozen
yes.
stalls, restaurants that serve all sorts of junk.
It's like this,
Isn't there any
you're-
limit on around campus areas? Don't have these.
You have a wholesale damage and retail repair.
Yeah.
Okay, you have an ecosystem broadly which is disease mongering
Yes.
and sickness seeking, and nobody wants to be sick. Nobody wants to be obese. You feel very bad about yourself today, and you are vilified if
Yes.
you are obese. So this is holy. But then, as she rightly, she raised the point that why don't you just work out? This is what, to be frank with you, without any offense to what you said, most of the soft drink companies are saying, you drink my cola, but don't be lazy. Walk for 2 hours. No,
which ads is that? I haven't heard anything about that.
Worldwide they have been talking. Like
Seriously? Okay.
Oh, that's how they have been talking. So I am saying, why the hell I should drink your junk food?
Yeah, like
and then walk out for 2 hours.
Mountain Dew and
let
Thumbs
me-
Up, they're running up the
No,
hill
I'm saying-
and
no,
they're like
no,
working
no,
out,
it's
sweating
not-
it out,
no,
and
no.
then reward is the Mountain
the
Dew.
ad
not
says
saying you
if
should
you
not-
enter
I'm
a
not
wrong
saying you
place,
should not
never
work out.
mind if you're
You
getting
should
a
do
Coke.
physical
That's what
exercise.
the ad says.
But not because you have eaten junk food. One punishment there and another punishment here for the sake of eating junk food. That's a bad thing.
That's bad. See,
That's
when
bad
we
thing.
are going
So
to
I'm
educate
saying-
the
calories,
children
right?
saying
You're not
that
just burning-
walk is a punishment, I
No, no,
don't
no.
think so it's going to happen. See,
the
not
point is-
only the point is not only just because you're having junk food you have to work out is a very bad picture of it. According to me, that's what I feel. Workout should be a part
Correct, but
and parcel of
all junk
anyone's
food,
lifestyle.
all junk food companies are saying this. Nothing wrong with our food. Excess sugar is fine.
And savory has been part
this
of
is
a
this is
culture,
a
I
narrative.
think.
This is a narrative in the whole world. You look at any of the soft drink companies, they have been saying this. People have to be responsible, but you be responsible. Don't add sugar.
No, the point
gotta-
is you're talking
no, you
only
gotta-
about
you
the
gotta ask
sugar.
the- no, sugar is
there
a-
is so much more in it. It's not just a workout is not going to help you in a holistic way.
Now you're
Because-
saying you're going to be burning 400 calories on a treadmill in 1 hour's time.
1 hour's time,
One
why
entire
do you-
chocolate bar is 400 calories or 500,
Why can't
600
it be
calories.
an
but your
option?
body is
I
not-
feel why can't it be an option? Okay.
No, it can't be an option. I'll tell you why.
Okay.
Because when you're talking about any of these fast food, it is not just the sugar. There is so much more added to that product, and the kind of reaction that your body has to go through, your liver and kidney, to discard all these ingredients which you don't require. The punishment that you give it is far more,
Maybe,
and that's the reason why
The medical
you
wise
cannot
is
say that
And
I'm
you're
drinking
eating
and working.
junk to burn, and you're working out to burn it out. But what you don't know is that you're burning. It's not healthy fat that's going in, so you don't have
No,
that
it's
kind of
not-
energy to work out even.
No,
If
not,
you're eating junk.
No, see, it doesn't work that way. It's not like I had 400 calories, I worked out 400, it shows you on a treadmill, and that's not way. I mean, each body is
What's
very
the nutrition
individual.
that I'm getting out of that 400 calories?
Not just nutrition, it's a lot more, you need to
in
kind of
India,
understand
see,
the
the
body,
Indian problem is-
physiology of it.
See,
That
our-
workout doesn't mean that if it's showing on your treadmill, you are burning as much.
Correct.
Plus the other ingredients, the additives, the preservatives, so many other things.
that won't escape your body.
It won't
easily.
escape. It is going to be, and that's what is free radicals all about. And
Exactly.
purely the reason why India today has, cancer is a number 3 problem today in India, and we don't know where we are heading. On top of that, the kind of stress, the other stress we have on our system, which is purely environment or work related, as this amount of stress students go
itself,
through.
yeah.
So I think it is not a problem of just one aspect. There are so many other aspects which, when you put together, it's a bigger problem. It's not just junk food. The whole
I see
thing
there is other way of
as a
looking at what is a junk food. In Indian context, it is less to do with fat. We normally talk very high about, because the Indian average fat consumption is 12 kg per annum.
Which is less.
Which is less. Some part it may be high. But if you look at sugar, our WHO, as per WHO, our requirement is 10 million tons. But do you know how much we have? 28 million tons. So this country has mountain of sugar. And what happens? And
We love our sweets.
Yeah,
don't
and I
we?
tell you, and the way Indians, you see, 22% of our kids below 5 years are obese today, and our obesity rate in the general population is 37%, which is very high.
Alarming, yes.
Alarming. Now, why Indians are fat? It's not more so to do with the starch than fat. Because we eat a mountain of starch, this white rice, or the mountain of chapati and all, we are cereal country. They say India is a cereal killer. 250 million tons of cereals, rice, wheat, and any diet change is jumping from rice to wheat or wheat to ragi. This way we jump.
Yes.
We don't change from cereal to pulses to oilseed.
Yes.
So what happens is starch, the problem with starch is your body can hold starch only for 2 days. It can hold fat for 100 days or even 1 year. Because your body can't store starch, whatever is flooded gets converted as fat and stored as fat.
Absolutely.
And problem with the fat is it doesn't budge, it creates hunger and makes you eat more.
My God.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
So that's what's leading to
so
obesity.
the whole problem with
It's
obesity
an epidemic
is this.
today, and definitely
It is an epidemic.
It is an epidemic,
call it
and
an
it has
epidemic?
to be.
But the
yes.
crux of the problem lies in
Addressed.
starch, excess starch. See, the poor in India, if you look at the government programs, giving 5 kilo of free white rice or free white rice in Karnataka now. No, you give this free rice and they eat sambar with rice, rasam with rice, curd with rice, paisam with rice, and what happens? So but we don't think this as junk.
Yeah.
We think of pizza burger as junk.
Exactly.
So don't be misled.
What
by
is the
this.
percentage of
Absolutely.
the junk that is present also
The
matters.
percentage
Rice
of
has
junk
been a culture.
No,
we
rice-
can't blame rice. Rice is
the way
been
now it is
you're not getting the
now it is evolved probably, and what
see,
is the
what I
mindset that
find
we
rice
have
that we
also
know. Let me
matters.
explain to
Rice
you. See,
became
now when you say good food, we say that if the energy from starch is less than 60%, it's very good. Indians are getting 80 to 90% energy from starch alone, from free carbs. And if the starch has got fiber in it, other dietary fiber and other nutrients in it, for example unpolished rice, it doesn't flood your blood, it doesn't get stored as fat.
See,
You get the
even
point?
if
see,
So
okay,
the
see, my
consumption-
concept is the rice concept is there. It's our ancient
I'm not-
time.
you're not
See,
getting
the
it.
kind
I'm
of
not
rice
talking
that they
right,
consume.
but
They consume probably.
was
See, now
different.
shouldn't we blame the government for bringing in this
Precisely,
concept
this
of
is what we
globalization?
spoke about it
It is
initially.
so
Yeah.
psychological.
We spoke about it initially about how
is it
they
so-
should
okay.
keep a
It is-
cap
it is
on
so
the
psychological.
on supplying
I
white
say,
rice,
why can't the
polished
government
rice.
give
The
unpolished
actual
rice? Why can't the government
unpolished
give
black
parboiled rice?
is not
Why can't
available.
they give
It's very
ragi? Why
rarely
can't they give
available.
jawar?
Very
Why can't they give
expensive.
wheat?
You don't get it anywhere.
Why only white
It's all
rice?
proper
But who's going
polished
to
white
educate the
rice.
society about
This
this?
is-
Not
this
just
program
that,
is
there
for
is-
that.
This is this
Yeah,
program
this
is
is
using
the
the entire
All right,
society.
as we come to
This is
an end,
Sri.KC.
as we come to an end, I'd like the administration, school and college to tell us a little more on what steps you would be taking up, ma'am. How would you change this? How would you convince the students that this is a good move? Most of them said no. How can they ban it? They can't ban it.
No, because
It's very necessary. Junk is very necessary.
Because of the various awareness they get from social media, children are very well educated. It only has to be ingrained in them that having it occasionally, maybe once a week. I'll put it at once a week because it's very difficult to control, be it my own children or be it in my own family. It will be difficult, so I just limit it to just once a day and just cut down on the number of outings they have, just like you said, the
Correct.
ice cream or the ice cream day or the donut day.
Yes.
That has to really come down.
And even ice cream and donut, ma'am, as a parent, you can really use healthy ingredients and make it fun for them, right?
At home we are doing, that's what I'm saying, but the taste, what they are getting in the market or what we get.
I guess it's
a
as good,
different-
maybe.
Yeah.
Why not? You can. Even the frosting now, you can use many other,
Absolutely.
healthier options are there for your cream
Then we
and
come
stuff.
again to the same point that the working parents, they don't have that much
Time.
time to
Absolutely,
really
yeah.
work
Working
out all
parents don't
these
have the
things.
time.
Yeah.
See,
So
Europe,
there
Europe-
are so many.
That's
Yeah,
why
it's not
there is
the
a
one.
disorder
Yeah.
like that.
In
Yes.
Europe, you have
I think
bakeries
it's a
now.
developing countries problem.
Yeah, no. In Europe, you have bakeries which says we don't add yeast. Yeast means additives. They say it's a bakery without yeast. So you see, you can educate people. I will give you better healthy food. So come here. I'm giving you. I'm not adding all this.
Yeah.
I'm not adding all this. I'm not giving you white rice. Go and search for a hotel where you don't get white rice.
See, you have to kind of, also create a demand. Unless you go and, ask for these things. Like when you pick up a food, if you ask him, can I have more of the onions and the cucumbers and the carrot? I'm sure over a period of time that it would change.
Yeah,
But the point is, people.
Yeah, if you ask for something, then there's demand, then there'll definitely be supply.
See,
eventually.
it's a very silent killer right now. The phase.
Yeah,
that
we
we're
aren't
going
realizing
it's a silent killer, and nobody is realizing it. But now it is time that we definitely start taking steps.
And look at the
towards
kind of diseases that's persistent,
Yes.
prevalent now. All sorts of lifestyle diseases.
No, we
Any
can't blame
second person has
actually,
diabetes. Any second person has
Yeah.
heart issues. Any second person has
And as
sugar.
Indians, we are
any
prone to
any
it.
second person has thyroid. It's just become so normal.
That's because
normal, yeah.
Indians as such, we have central obesity problem, which is very unique to our country.
Okay.
And it is important that people realize what our body type is, and traditionally what kind of food, like he said, there were, there was black rice, there was brown rice, there's so many different kind of variety of rice, pulses. Now because of maybe you would say comfort factor, we are just sticking to, yes, I want my just rice and tur dal.
Yes,
So I think we need to move back to our
Traditional,
traditionally
yeah.
available,
Absolutely.
and make it available and create a demand by being consumers demanding for it, and ensuring that
Absolutely.
that is
Simple example, if you take that frozen aloo tikki
Yes.
and you make a fresh boiled aloo tikki,
Correct.
it tastes
Yeah.
different.
It's a big
and
difference.
children like, if I make
they
that
like
one,
the fresh one, no matter what, they
correct.
like the fresh one.
Correct.
Just
Right,
one
sir.
more
A final word, sir.
Yeah, you see, in aloo, for example, we have 28 million tons of aloo. Unfortunately, aloo is added with roti.
Yeah.
Both are starch sources.
Yeah.
Aloo is a vegetable in India. In Europe, you eat aloo with meat.
Yeah.
But in India, aloo is a vegetable.
Yeah.
And then there's another two starch.
actually.
Right, I guess we've got to alter it. Will you say no to junk today on, Aishwarya?
As a student.
Yes, actually depends. I would prefer, as the discussion went on, if there is something which will substantiate or come as an alternative to the junk that we are eating, maybe yes, a no to junk.
We hope universities,
Yeah.
colleges, schools are listening to that. Thank you so much.
And students should make sure that made in India junk food comparatively is more healthier when you have your foreign junk
I
food.
don't know.
With the added flavors,
That's just above my head right now.
with the
That's
added
totally above my
flavors
head.
and the taste bud that
I'm not too
actually
sure about
target
that. I'm not too sure if Indian junk food is healthier than the
Of
Western
course,
junk food.
savouries,
I would
the
like to
savouries
differ.
that we have
I would
here,
like
it
to
is
differ. I'm so
tradition,
sorry.
the
I
savouries
would
that
still
we
say
have here.
it's probably more unhealthy than
You've
international.
got the
junk.
next topic for debate. You've
Thank
got
you
the
so
next
much.
topic
Thank you so much
maybe.
for joining us. Well,
Probably, yes.
Indian junk food is by no means healthier than other junk food in the other parts of the world. That could be a bit misleading. But on the contrary, obviously you can't say no to junk. You can't shun it off entirely because kids are all the more inquisitive. So the best way to do it, start at home. Whatever you're feeding your child, ensure, even if it's fried stuff, ensure it is fresh. The oil should be new. It shouldn't be reused oil. Your products, your ingredients should all be freshly cut. No additives, no preservatives, none of the chemical bit. If you do everything raw and naturally, and that's it. Junk or not junk, don't have to care about that. I mean, you might feel that you're eating junk because it's fried, but at least it's clean.
Yes.
Go
So
back to
that's
that traditional way.
Yeah, go back to the
Yeah.
traditional way.
Yeah.
And in colleges, in colleges you can't, if it's not banned and the stalls are still there, somehow just close your eyes, walk the other direction, or go for a healthier option. Institutions and campuses, a big request to open up stalls that serve healthier food. And even if the food inspectors from outside aren't coming, the school management itself should keep a check on whether their canteens are using ingredients that are healthy for their children, because our youth is the generation of tomorrow. It's the future of our country for tomorrow. Thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned for more news and updates on the other side.